to this Clarity and Closure of the Viewer's Comments video. If you're interested in correct sentence structure, communication, parsing, syntax, grammar, there will be a grammar lesson at the end. But for now, we're going to throw some spice on it. And the spice is courtesy of @CameronChris-d9r. And these comments probably aren't going to be in the order that they came in. So they're commenting on a video to Mark Kishon's sick Christopher's followers. And just to give you a sense of what we're looking at here, they spammed a massive number of comments, like over 24 comments in one day. They made 11 comments in like 11 minutes. So they were serious about whatever they're talking about here. So I think they said something like, no belief in God, no fan here, A for effort though, video is incomplete, probably at work, can't use a cell at work. I don't know who they're talking about. Maybe themselves, I don't know. I didn't read the guidelines though. Hopefully it's not against the rules to believe in the God of the heavens. Well, it's pretty easy to click on the community guidelines. But based upon what we're about to see here, I don't think Cameron Chris possesses the neurological pathways to comprehend how to read the terms and conditions. Wait, I have an idea. Do you believe in God of the heaven? This is all I need to know. I love God, do you? Most fakes avoid this subject because it proves authenticity. All right, so now they're talking about God twice now. And they're commenting on this particular video. So what is in this video that's causing them, that's triggering them to say these things? Let's find out. This message is for all those nice folks that are contacting me on the behalf of Mark-lowercase k Kishon Christopher sick, who are at various times commanding me to stop and correct, at various times calling me brother, and also every time not credentialing themselves. What do I mean by that? Well, I mean, you know who I am. You can see my face. You know my full correct name. Jason-Matthew Glass, period. I ask the same consideration of you. If you choose not to credential yourself, if you choose not to share your correct name and take authority over your words, you've broken continuance of the evidence. You have no position at all. And the only thing you're going to get is probably me making fun of you. All right, so you've watched the video. Did I mention anything about God in this video? Did I make any claims in this video? I mean, one could construe that, and I make a claim that I have terms and conditions on this channel. And one of them is to credential yourself if you want me to take you seriously. If not, then it's just going to be troll time. I'm just going to label you as a troll, basically. What does this mean? A for effort, though video is incomplete. The God stuff. What does that have to do with the price of tea in China? Mark reveals his source. You don't. Source of what, though? Source of what? Furthermore, I can't help but notice a pattern of people that state they are correct, not the other man. They give a touch of info but always protect the source so we can't use the same source. Be transparent. Parent, are you helping us or are you just creating doubt in authenticity? Well, if I'm going to take this individual even halfway seriously, I don't know what they're talking about. I've stated many times that when I use the word correct, it's in the context of correct sentence structure, communication, parsing, syntax, grammar. Correct just basically means together along the same tract, along the same straight path. And in this case, that's the grammar. But this individual doesn't know that because they don't know anything about correct sentence structure. Obviously.
obviously. So I don't know what source they're talking about. They're not giving any details, yet they're demanding what my source is, but I don't know what they're talking about because, oh look, YouTube decided to use AI, in which, again, folks, caveat emptor. See this answer that AI generated? Incorrect. Wrong. That's not what's going on here. I will say that there are over 1,300 videos on this channel that this individual could avail themselves in to gain the closure about the source, whatever source they're talking about, because if I do say something about what something means or whatever, I do give a source. But I don't really know what they're asking, like what source for what exactly. Are you helping us? What are they talking about when they say helping us? This always fascinates me. Is Cameron Chris a group of people? Does he have a multiple personality disorder? Does he have a mouse in his pocket? What do people mean when they say that? I mean, it's an act unless you prove your statements. What statements would that be? That I would like you to share your full correct name if you want me to take you seriously? You didn't show where we can verify your source of your statements in law or by code. I don't make any statements of law. That's complete fiction babble mentality. So this person watched one video, and this is what they're coming in with. We will wait. Yes, you will, you and your multiple personalities. You will definitely wait. Next, they say, okay, now I'm warmed up. Finally, we wait again. Copy and paste your source. That's what pros do to back it up. Pros don't say Google it, LOL. If they knew anything about the grammar, of which this is a channel about quantum grammar, concerned with correct sentence structure, communication, parse, syntax, grammar, they would know that pro, PRO, means no. So I do respond to them. I do say, source of what? I ask them, source of what? And that was a day ago, right? So then they go into another violation of the terms and conditions. They're telling me what to do. Teach, be positive. This coming from someone named God number 1 who joined YouTube 2 weeks ago with no content on their channel, no subscribers, and they're telling me how to teach, what to do, acting as if they have some position to say anything at all. Nobody cares anymore about negative rants that force us to search the world for the source you speak of, never knowing if we will ever find it or if we went past it already unknowingly. Ha ha. Again, source of what? So what source did I speak of in the video that everybody here watched a few minutes ago? What source? The video that they're commenting on. So I'm beginning to get a picture of this individual's mental condition of state. So maybe you're talking about a different mark or a clone or a holographic. The mark I know is excellent from my private and commercial experiences. So Mark is excellent in private with Cameron Chris. Maybe that's TMI. Okay, that's a little weird. But I mean, I've gone into detail about Mark and what I know about him and how I actually knew him in 2017, 2018. And so you can search those out if you want to. I'm a student of Mark. I love Mark's teachings. It has worked well for me so far amongst the world of demons. I can only thank him. Being framed only because what he taught me. 2 felonies. Oh, so Cameron Chris is a felon, a 2-time felon. Good to know. Thanks for sharing. You wanted to get real, so. Again, this individual doesn't know jack shit about grammar. Real means no contract. And I never said I wanted to get no contract. All I asked for was to share your full correct name if you want me to take you seriously, which I'm obviously not taking this individual seriously. Now they got a little feisty, they got a little spicy, a little zesty. They said, I have the right to stay in the private as long as I do no harm. That's how it works, son. Pull the old son on me. I said, like I said, folks, excuses. A chicken has a right to eat and a fox has a right to eat. That's enough said about rights. Which David-Wynn Miller shared that. He heard a judge say that. A judge told him that. A fiction judge, of course. Now, this comment was posted on a live stream that I did where during the time this individual, Cameron Chris, was physically, actually, literally in the now space commenting on my YouTube channel. He was actively commenting. Comments were appearing. I went live and I did a live stream and I tagged them in it. And I said, if you really have something to ask me, if you really want to know something, if you really want to communicate, if your volition is to communicate efficiently and clearly, pull up. Come up to the chat and ask what you want to ask. Come up to the carpet. And then I said, I bet that they don't have the guts. And I bet what they will have are excuses. And this was the first comment. I have the right to stay in the private. So that's them saying, no, I don't want to come. I don't want to face you face to face because I'm a little pussy boy. You know, I'm a little sissy. I'm scared. I'm a coward. Kind of like that. Like most trolls. I said, I knew you wouldn't show up. Most trolls are cowards. When given the opportunity to step up to a confrontation, you are no exception, you little sissy. So I poked a little bit there. Not too hard. Then they said, I am a martial artist. Take it or leave it. I'm not sure what you are asking exactly, but you seem very destructive. I just wanted you to pull up so that you could ask me what you wanted to ask me. I gifted you the opportunity to use a platform in a now space setting to get real, as you said, to perform, to put your money where your mouth is, to step up to the carpet, take accountability for your words. But of course you didn't want to do that, did you? Like most trolls. So then I say, oh, thanks for adding clarity. You're a little sissy who practices martial arts, which is the standard story for internet tough guys with a 2-week-old YouTube channel who are too frightened to actually have a real conversation. I bet you couldn't fight your way out of a wet paper bag, sissy. Now I'm really poking. Then he said, Jason Matthew Glass exposed me. Then I said, little sissy, always remember that no one forced you to comment here repeatedly. I mean, you are a big, tough martial artist, after all. Unless you're being paid to put that much work in. Which didn't occur to me until this moment. A paid troll? Is it possible? Sure. You chose it. It's okay to cry. We need weak, cowardly, anonymous internet warriors to help keep the comment algo flowing. And then that was it. That was it. Cameron Chris stopped commenting after that. That was it. I guess he wasn't able to find his cojones in his boyfriend's fanny pack. Couldn't find his man pants, so he just went about his business, going back to his whatever, his taekwondo, little kids gym or whatever it is that they do. It was very entertaining, though, and I just wanted to share that with you. Thought you might get a kick out of it. Our old friend Tony Montana, they say, careful or I may ask you to divine where the Gordon family sent the 4 quarters of Willie Wallace and send him back tout suit. I have no idea what that means, but I'm sure they're referencing the tarot and the keys and all that I was talking about, which doesn't really have anything to do. I mean, it does have to do with divination if you want to use it for that, but that's not the reason why I mentioned it. I mentioned it because those are the keys. The tarot contains all the keys that David-Wynn Miller and Russell-J. Gould talk about when they talk about being key masters, key holders. Those are the keys. Nothing to do with what this individual is saying. Next comment is from Quantum Cody, and they say, this helped clarify that the keys are more than mystical symbols, but directional tools for navigation. Word sequence, pictures, and position work together as a kind of map for the now space. I also like the way you tied Castaneda and the fourth way into self-command, especially the thought that correct sentence structure gives the mind a straight line on paper, when ordinary attention keeps drifting. Question. When you study these books, do you see the tarot keys mainly as symbolic psychology, as a grammar of consciousness, or as an actual operational system that connects directly to correct sentence structure? So let's answer these 3 questions, or are they offering me choice? They want me to choose between those 3 choices. Those are very limiting choices. So I'll treat it as 3 different questions. Do you see the tarot cards mainly as symbolic psychology? No. As a grammar of consciousness? I mean, I don't really look at it that way, but it could be looked at it that way. Yeah, I mean, it could be, if you choose to do that. Or as an actual operational system that connects directly to correct sentence structure. And again, if that's your perception of it, then I guess you could do that, but you would have to show the connections then, if that's your claim, which I have not made that claim. I'm saying you could look at it that way. I'm not like in a position to talk about that in this video. That's way beyond the scope of this video. But I suppose you could make some connections if you had closure on the grammar and you went into the tarot as well. I mean, at one point I was working on a correct sentence structure, communication, PARSE, syntax, grammar tarot deck, which I kind of put on the back shelf because it's a hell of a lot of work. If there's anyone out there that wants to fund me on that, I'd be open to donations. That and my correct sentence structure, communication, PARSE, syntax, grammar textbook. I'm guessing that both of those things will probably be finished in another lifetime, or 2 lifetimes actually. Next comment comes from Paucha, and they say, for the concept of the gratitude is with the sense of the momentum, with the success of the manifestation, with the consciousness by the capable. So backwards, for the capable of the consciousness is with the manifestation of the success, with the momentum of the sense, with the gratitude by the concept. Mechanically, positional sequencing wise, this is correct. But it doesn't make sense. Not to my mind, at least. The concept is the cause of the sentence, but then the concept becomes the authority of the sentence. Capable is it's just too vague, is what I'm saying. I feel like I can kind of get the impression of what they're trying to say, but it's too much, too little detail, actually, I could say. And also, of course, the particle of negation in success. Would never use that. Other than that, everything else looks okay. And again, folks, as I've said in the past, I do not suggest that you use shorthand quantum grammar that Raven and I came up with and implemented. I don't recommend using that, especially if you don't have closure on the grammar, like Palcha obviously does not. I recommend writing everything out. It would make more sense, and it would actually cause the writer, the author, to see that their sentence is not clear and does not really make sense, does not offer enough information to be taken as a whole. to be cognized by someone else. I mean, someone else it may make perfect sense to them, but me, as a grammar tutor for 9 years, 1,300 free videos on YouTube about correct sentence structure, teaching hundreds of folks all over the earth, doesn't really make sense to me. So here's the grammar lesson that I was talking about at the beginning of the video. And it's another one from Palcha. And this time they do write everything out. And they say, for the claimant's knowledge of the facts is with the conduct claim of the jurisdiction with the claim of the Cruden-Neal 1796 with the year of the controversy, with the testimony of the sovereignty of the parties, with the avoidance of the several laws, with the omission of the natural laws, with the skepticism of the parties' consent, with this statement by this claimant, Paul. Again, to me, this is very, very muddy. What do you think, folks? Do you see any mistakes in there? Let's see what their translation is. They say, every man is independent of all laws except those prescribed by nature. He's not bound by any institution formed by his fellow man without his consent. I understand what Palcha is trying to say here. But I wasn't aware that nature prescribed laws, like a doctor prescribes medicine. We have to be careful with the words we use, and literally, that makes no sense. What I've said in the past is that I don't participate with the concept of laws in the context of correct sentence structure, communication, parsing, syntax, grammar. Laws are a fiction concept. And that's fine. I mean, of course. There's rules in the fiction and rules in the fact. But let's take a closer look at this sentence right here. So, what is the cause of the sentence? Claimant's knowledge. What's the cause concerned with? The facts. Singular verb is. Follow the verb with a possessive. The conduct claim is possessing what? The facts. So we're talking about, it's a claim of conduct having to do with facts. And what's the conduct claim concerned with? Jurisdiction. So what's possessing the jurisdiction? The claim. So the conduct claim is possessing the jurisdiction. What's concerned with the claim? Cruden-Neal 1796. Now this is the part where it gets muddy. We have no idea what that is, what a Cruden-Neal is. The way it's written, I'd have to say that they're a living being, like a living creature. Could be a dog, could be a cat, could be a human, could be a live claimant. I have no idea. But then we have 1796. What is that? What is 1796? Is it a location? I don't see a tilde, so I don't know what it is. I don't know what that is. Oh, it's a year. So the year is possessing 1796 Cruden-Neal. So that's the name of the year. Is Cruden-Neal, 1796. Still no tilde. So this isn't the name of a person. It's the name of a year. Is that what we're saying here? What's the year concerned with? Controversy. Do you see that, folks, right there? Okay. What's possessing the controversy? Testimony. What's the testimony concerned with? Sovereignty. So sovereignty is concerned with the testimony. And this single mistake throws everything into adverb, verb, adjective, pronoun. Fiction, babble. Two of those right in a row. So no wonder it doesn't make any sense. It hasn't really made much sense up to here, and it's not going to make any much more sense as we move down. Another particle of negation here. We don't know what they're talking about. Several laws, no idea. Natural laws, we don't even know what that is. What parties? Consent. Was there a party that I wasn't invited to? That sucks. I feel left out. All right. Enough joking around. Let's go down and I'll show you all the mistakes that I found in this sentence. So all the critical mistakes are in red. We have the particles of negation in yellow. Now, thematically, this doesn't make sense as a year, right? But I'm not going to mark it as a mistake. I'm just basically looking at the mechanics of what's going on here. To me, this definitely does not translate to this. I don't know what this is. So I hope Pulcher looks at this and, I hope they take from it what they can and they learn from it and hone their skills. Keep honing their skills. Again, folks, the best way to learn this stuff is to schedule a consultation. The best way that I know of, from my humble viewpoint, is to schedule a brief consultation with me. Please use your full correct name when contacting me via email, and then I'll tell you how you can apply for workshops. And if you choose to do that, there are about 8 or 9 hour-long workshops that you can participate in. I'm not saying you would need all 8 or 9. Some people just need 1. Some people need 3. The average is about 5 or 6. If you stick with it, you keep the schedule, you show up when you're supposed to show up, and be consistent about it, you'll learn this stuff. You will, if you want to, if your cup is empty. And that's how it works. So thank you very much, everybody, for watching this comments video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Caveat emptor, que sera, sera.